This Sunday, the U of A Mall will be a sea of pink. It will be a day full of inspiration, remembrance, and honoring.
That's right. The 17th annual Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure is meant to bring the whole community together to battle breast cancer. Jennifer Atchley and Laura Baker are here to tell us more. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. And before we start talking about the actual event itself, I wanted to ask about your personal stories.
So I was 41 years old. I was past due for going for my original mammogram you're due for when you turn 40. And I finally found time in my schedule and went in, and a few days later got a request to come back in, which they initially tell you, don't worry about it. Most women, when they have their baselines, that happens. Went back in for my second mammogram, and it became very apparent that this was going to be very atypical. Went for the second mammogram and a sono back to back, and the radiologist immediately scheduled me for a biopsy. It was around Christmas time, so my biopsy was scheduled after the holidays. So I was diagnosed on January 9th of 2014 with triple negative breast cancer, and it was already stage 2. I had no family history, and only 15% of the people do have a family history of breast cancer, and I think that's the misnomer. And the other misnomer is it doesn't happen to young people, but 11% of the population is actually under 45 that get diagnosed with breast cancer. So I got to have chemotherapy first, and I had a 100% resolution to chemotherapy. So when they did my lumpectomy, I showed no signs of cancer left. And then they went ahead and I had 6 weeks of radiation.
Wow.
So I finished in October.
October is when you finished.
Yes.
Quite a story. And Laura, how about you?
My story is a little bit different. I actually was proactive, went in for my annual mammograms. Of course, I'm a little bit older than Jen, so it was needed. And in August, I actually had an all-clear mammogram, and then in October, I recognized something wasn't normal, and I had a lump. And thankfully, I went in right away and was diagnosed on October 22nd of 2013. Put together my team, got my support groups. With family and friends, and really from there made the game plan to beat cancer. And it was a whirlwind from there because as I was creating my plan, I thought I was going to have surgery first and then chemo, but my excellent doctors went the other route, so I did chemo for 4 months and then had surgery April 17th of 2014, and just like Jen, at that time was cancer-free because the chemo did its job, and cancer-free today. So,
well, first off, that's great news. And second off, thank you, ladies, for sharing your own personal stories, because I love what you said about don't think that there's a cookie cutter to anyone, an age, or it's a history in your family. We have to get educated. We have to get those mammograms, because that's how we're going to get the early detection.
Yep, and early detection is the way to go. So knowing your body, knowing what's normal and what's not, and then acting to get that help is most important.
So that's why we're going to get people out to this walk. And now people can either walk or volunteer, right?
They can walk, they can volunteer, or they can sleep for the cure.
Yes, so absolutely. So this Sunday, so just a few days away, starting at 7 a.m. is the 1 mile run walk. At 8 o'clock is the 5K. So you, again, can be competitive or just come out and jog, or even walk the 5K. You can register same day. If you don't feel like coming out, you can still support the cause by doing Sleep for the Cure and sleep in. Komen will mail you a shirt, a number, a bib, and everything, so you can still participate and help the cause.
Very cool. Now, where does all this money go that's being raised?
So the money stays all right here in Southern Arizona, 100% of it. 75% of it will go towards the survivorship programs, the health breast screenings, as well as community education. The other 25% stays in the area and goes to ongoing research.
And even staying within what we were talking about a moment ago about don't think that you can't get it if you're this, that, another. We're even talking to men.
Right. 1 in 1,000 men will actually get breast cancer.
Wow. And I think that's a big misconception.
Correct.
It is. It is, and just to add, I mean, cancer, there is no immunity to cancer, so knowing your risk factors, taking care of yourself, and being proactive is critical to early detection.
Exactly. And in your opinion, why is it so important that we continue to raise money for breast cancer awareness?
They've made a lot of progress, and since Komen came about in 1999, they've raised almost $9 million nationwide and internationally for Komen, and all staying within the organizations to help breast cancer survivors. And we've brought the fatality and the recurrence rate down amazingly, as well as earlier detection. But unfortunately, we still are losing women to it, and we still haven't found the cure. but we're getting there.
So there's still work to be done with the research and finding the cure. And there's all different types of cancer, of breast cancer. So everyone has their different story, their different experience, and types of cancer. So some research has made great strides in certain areas, but we still have a lot of work to do to be 100% survivable with breast cancer.
So this is something the whole community should be back behind. Ladies, again, thank you so much for sharing your stories today. We are going to get everybody out there.
Yes.
The Race for the Cure will take place on March 22nd on the U of A Mall. For more information, give them a call at 319-0155 or log on to KomenSAZ.org.